Meteorologist at the Washington Post and is in Slidell, Louisiana tonight. Matthew, thanks for joining us. Where is the storm? How fast moving is it at this point?
Now, right now, the good news is picked up its pace just a little bit, but earlier when it made landfall, it was moving at only 3.5 kilometers per hour. That's hardly walking pace, and that's part of the reason why we saw so much in the way of flooding. Now, it's moving about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour as it moves into northeastern Alabama. Next up, Georgia, the southeast, and eventually the Carolinas. And they'll see less rainfall, between about 10 and 15 centimeters, but still a serious flood threat for those in line.
So, Matthew, which areas did get the most rain? How much did they get?
We got about a half a meter where I was, and it wasn't just the amount of rainfall, it was the speed at which it came down, the rapidity with which it fell. We saw upwards of 5 to 6 centimeters per hour, peaking at around 8 centimeters per hour as we got into that eye wall. Now, at the same time, you had that very heavy rainfall, but you had surge come in near the coastline as well, and for many areas, the worst rainfall and that surge overlapped. So they had two different water threats, and that led to widespread catastrophic flooding.
So, Matthew, how long will the storm stick around?
In most areas, it's starting to pull away right now away from the Gulf Coast. Where I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama, we got the eye of the storm, the calm, for about 4 hours. But to get there, we had to go through the eye wall, that really bad donut of very strong winds with those gusts you mentioned in excess of 150 kilometers per hour. And we were in that for about 3 hours before the eye and then another 2 after the eye. So that's part of the reason we've seen so much tree damage with this. Fortunately, because it's picking up its pace forward motion-wise a little bit, the amount of time people have to deal with it is coming down. I'd say about probably 6 to 8 hours in most places, but
Wow.
still a pretty bad bout of weather for most.
And there are other storms already forming in the Caribbean area.
Yes, originally it didn't look like it was going to be all that concerning, but now we have roughly an 80% chance that the blob in the Western Caribbean starts to acquire tropical characteristics and become a tropical depression or even a named storm. And the interesting part of this, we only have one name left on the 2020 Atlantic hurricane naming list, and that would be Wilfred. After that, we run out of names, so we have to go to the Greek alphabet. Alpha, theta, beta, gamma, all those letters next up after we exhaust Wilfred.
Matthew Cappucci, appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.